Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to this week's Midweek 180, brought to you from Seoul in South Korea. Before we start, I need to just spin the camera around and show you the view out of my hotel room. What a spectacular city Seoul is. I'm here with Hyundai for a whole bunch of activities, actually, some of which I'm going to be talking about in this Midweek 180. But I've had a whole day of exploring culture and stuff here today, and it's just been a brilliant day. But if you've not seen one of these before, this is my midweek update where I bring you my news, views, and information about upcoming reviews, all filmed in one take. Now, the housekeeping from the last midweek 180, because I didn't drop one last week, so apologies for that. I had a really busy schedule. I'd just come back from Turkey with Toyota, and I just didn't have the opportunity to film one, so apologies for that. But the main key players the last time round: Francois G, leader of the pack, well done sir, Kevin DG7, Paul Mead, Anthony Finch, Jake Warren, Stephen Spink and Gary Matthews were the Magnificent Seven. But if you put a comment this week, the first comment will be my leader of the pack next week, and then the first 7 comments will be in my Magnificent Seven. So there was some stuff I wanted to talk about last week, but as I said, I didn't do one. The first thing I want to talk about is Formula One. Now, although we haven't had a race since the last time I recorded a Midweek 180, the big news has come out of Red Bull, and that is the driver swap, basically ditching Liam Lawson as their number 2 driver and replacing him with Yuki Tsunoda. And I just wanted to have a chat about that and give you my views on it, because I've got quite strong opinions. Firstly, I feel quite sorry for Liam Lawson in many respects. Although basically Formula One is a meritocracy, you have to perform, you have to be able to get on top of a car, and the first person you have to be comparable with is your teammate, because they're in the same machinery. And the challenge Liam Lawson had was, whilst Max Verstappen's up at the sharp and pointy end, up in sort of the top 5 in qualifying and in race trim, Liam's down at the back end of the field, coming last in qualifying, and that's never a good look. And although Red Bull have this amazing young driver development program, they aren't known for being particularly patient when drivers aren't performing. And therefore, I don't think it was a great shock to anybody that they've moved Liam out and back into their number 2 team, the Racing Bulls, and promoted Yuki Tsunoda. I think it is a bit of a poison chalice for Yuki Tsunoda, if I'm honest, because I think the challenge Red Bull have is that their car is so developed and designed around Max Verstappen and his driving style, which is quite unique, that anybody else getting into that car would struggle. I think you could take any of the top drivers in Formula One, whether that's Lewis Hamilton or Charles Leclerc or George Russell or Carlos Sainz, any of those, put them in that Red Bull, and I think they would struggle. And it's all down to driving style. And I think if you understand driving style, and I'm not by any means an expert, but the way that Max likes his car set up, he likes a very sharp, very direct front end of the car. And what that means is when you get into a corner, you turn in quickly. But what the downside of that often is quite an unpredictable or sharp or snappy rear end of the car. So when you get on the throttle, it can be quite twitchy. And Max has got such superhuman reflexes. He can drive a car like that. He can get on it. And I think if you're not comfortable with that kind of car, the challenge Red Bull seem to have is they can't dial that out of the car and still make it go fast. So you're fighting with a car that you can't get comfortable in. And therefore, Red Bull's issue is they may well have, arguably one of the best drivers of the current generation of Formula One drivers in their number 1 seat. So that's great. They get points from him. But because the car is so set up for him, anybody in their number 2 seat isn't going to be able to get the same out of the car. And that means in terms of constructors, they're going to suffer because they're not getting that second car winning constructors points. But also, you really want both your cars up together at the front end so that they can support each other, they can help each other. And that's where Red Bull are missing out. If you look at somewhere like, whether that's Ferrari or whether that's McLaren or whether that's Mercedes, their drivers are on a par pretty much with each other, and they can get both the constructors' points, but they can also help each other out during races. This team have got more strategic options, and that's where Red Bull are really struggling. The other problem Red Bull have for me is if Max Verstappen leaves at the end of this year, which there are many rumours going around the paddock that he's going to leave maybe to Mercedes, they're left with a car that nobody can drive. And that's very similar in MotoGP world to Honda when their star driver or rider left. The bike was unrideable. No one else could ride it, and they dropped off of the standings altogether. And I can see that happening with Red Bull. I can see if Max leaves, I can see them being stuck with a car that nobody can drive and being a midfield team. I really can. I would love to know what you guys think of that. But that's my take on the whole Max Verstappen thing. I can't not mention the fact that Ferrari got two cars disqualified. That is unforgivable, really. I'm sure they'll come out with some reasons for that, but not very good at all. Anyway, next thing I want to briefly talk about is I was at Podium Place week before last, recording with Joe and Pat for the Drive Talk podcast. Both episodes have now actually gone out. We did an episode with Ben Fowler from Road to Success, which just a remarkable young man. And I'm going to say that and try not to sound too condescending. 25 years old, the most driven and just energetic business person at that age. It's remarkable. So make sure you tune into the Drive Talk podcast to watch that. But while we were there, Project PP is in the main cafe area. So let's head to Podium Place and see Project PP in all her glory. Now, I'm here at Podium Place because very exciting news. Project PP is finally here. In fact, it's better than that. It's on one of the turntables in here. Mr. Joe Achilles, are you just ruining my bit to camera?
I was trying to get out of it for you, but yes, I'm ruining it.
We've been here recording Drive Talk podcast. Very special guest.
Yes.
We've done two today, actually.
We have.
But you need to go off and do a film with that lovely press car you've got.
I do. Yeah.
What do you think of Project PP, though?
It's pretty cool. Yeah. It's not my cup of tea because it doesn't have a roof and the gearbox is... but,
and it's a Mini.
And it's a Mini. But it looks good. The tyres look fantastic.
Yes.
I'll leave it at that. Goodbye.
Bye. Come on. It's on the spinny round turntable. It's not spinning round, but look how good she looks. Finally done, fully detailed by the guys here at Podium Detailing. I know we saw this car when I went over with Darren to have a look through, but highlights are we've got the bronze Mulgrew special design wheels with the Pilot Sport 5 tyres. That is the sexiest sidewall ever. 3D printed Podium side scuttles. This whole panel here was completely custom made with the grills. Carbon mirror caps, but for me, especially with the roof down, it's the interior that shows off on this car. These seats are absolutely epic. Look at them, look at the detailing. And it's now on display here at Podium. I'm sure it will be doing many cool activities. But I kind of forgotten just how cool she looks. One of the, you can't quite get the whole rear diffuser, twin exit Miltech exhaust with the custom parts made by Darren. It's just an absolutely mega bit of kit. One of the most unique R52 minis there is. Got to be. Absolutely mega. So hopefully I'll get to drive it at some point. Sadly, I haven't got the time today, but it's great to finally have Project PP here at Podium Place. So yeah, great to see her. Now, sadly, that day I didn't have enough time to do a drive, but I will be going back to Podium Place to get the first drive of Project PP. But I just think it's just great to see her there in that environment. Next thing, very briefly, before I close this video off, is I'm here in Seoul for a few things. Firstly, yesterday, Hyundai released a concept car which is basically a kind of design concept of how mad and crazy their designers can get when they're given free rein. So they took the Hyundai Insta, which is their little all-electric city car, and basically went wild with it, gave it big wide tyres, massive WRC-inspired wing, and created the Instaroid. Now, the interesting thing is that video embargo dropped yesterday, which was the 1st of April, April Fool's Day. I'm not so sure that the guys from Hyundai had quite clocked that that was the case. And loads of comments on that video. It dropped in the morning because of an embargo. So you may not have seen it in your feed. Please head over and watch the video. But loads of people are saying, is this an April Fool? It's not an April Fool. It's a design concept. They haven't said whether they're going to actually make it yet, but I think the chances are quite high. I'm sure it will be pared back a little bit. and it would be awesome to have something like the Ioniq 5N running gear in it. So that was the in steroid. I'm at the Seoul Mobility Show tomorrow, and then tomorrow afternoon I'm getting a first drive of the Ioniq 9. So I hope to get that video to you soon. Now, there are already press drives of Ioniq 9, but it's basically Hyundai's version of the Kia EV9. It's like a big 7-seat SUV. Really, I've not seen one until yesterday. I saw one at Hyundai yesterday, and it looked really, really cool. And then last thing is the hunt for the 911 is going at pace. Lady P has now gone. The money I got out of that car is sat in my bank account, burning a hole in my bank account. And I'm just waiting for the right car, and I'm finding it very difficult. As we speak, there is a car that I could well put a deposit down on, but I'm just not 100% sure. I'm only like 95% sure that it's the right car, and I'm not sure 95% is enough. But you never know, I might surprise myself. There was a perfect car come up yesterday, a Porsche Reading, but unfortunately by the time we rang up, it had already been sold, which is very, very annoying. So I am on the hunt for a 911, and I will keep you posted as soon as something happens on that front. But in the meantime, to give me my 911 fix, next Monday I'm actually picking up a 911 ST from Porsche GB. I've got that for 4 days next week. So if there's anything you'd like to find out about or know about the 911 ST, then let me know. Put it in the comments, and then I'll try and include it in my film that I will be making next week. And then this Friday's video at 6, I'm going to call it me, Tracy and the dogs escaping to a treehouse in the New Forest. We did this amazing press trip with Skoda last week, or weekend before last rather, where we went to the New Forest to stay in a treehouse at a beautiful resort called Chewton Glen, and we had this it was such a lot of fun. The dogs came. It's a bit of a behind the scenes. It's not really a review of the L-Rock, although it's the Skoda L-Rock that we were driving. Tracy's on it, the dogs are on it. We do this really cool kind of treasure hunt thing on the Saturday, which was a whole bunch of fun. So it's a fun video, and that drops at 6. But for now, I'm going to try and get this edited. We're 9 hours ahead, so I'm going to get it edited and uploaded, and then I'm off out for dinner, even though I've been out all day, and I am feeling the negative effects of jet lag. I am proper shabby. Anyway, if you enjoyed that, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come, and I'll see you on the next film. You take care, guys. Drive safe, and I'm going to leave you with the cityscape of Seoul in South Korea. How beautiful is that?